How's it going, everyone? It seems like a lot of you guys have been playing Palworld, even though on this channel we mostly cover PlayStation stuff. I know a lot of you guys have checked it out on PC. The Steam sales numbers are staggering, which we'll talk about in this video, and it is one of the biggest game releases of all time for a plethora of reasons. But obviously, whenever a game gets as big as Palworld has gone, and especially when there are comparisons being made to one of the most iconic gaming IPs of all time in Pokemon, you know there's gonna be a little bit of a pushback, and you know there's gonna be people saying crazy things on social media. Social media has just become an avenue to say outlandish things and, you know, push the envelope a little bit too much and cross a couple lines that I think people are way too comfortable in crossing. We'll talk about it. There's a lot of drama going on about Palworld, some hardcore Pokemon fans obviously having meltdowns over some of the character designs and mon designs, etc. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Pokemon mod, which I understand why Nintendo bugged out about that. And at the end of this video, we'll end it on a positive note as sales numbers are staggeringly high. And on top of that, concurrent player counts on Steam, just on Steam, has reached an incredibly high mark. We'll talk that at the end of this video. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to ask you guys, please like this video and do leave a comment with your thoughts. It really does help out the channel a lot, and it is much appreciated. But first of all, Palworld Development Studio and Pocket Pair did note that they have received death threats from Pokemon fans over on Twitter and X, specifically noting community manager Bucky noting on X, frantically working through all my DMs and emails, I promise. However, you'll excuse me if I skip over death threats, threats to the company, and massively outlandish claims. If you're capable of writing like an actual human being, though, I'll reply ASAP. Now, I know that people are gonna say that this is absolutely insane, and you know what? I'm gonna say it's absolutely insane, but I also don't want this to be a reason why we crap on, like, the entire Pokemon community and the Pokemon fandom, because, yes, there's a lot of outrage. If you go on social media, if you go on Twitter, X, and you look up posts by Pokemon fans, they are calling for the end of Palworld, they are calling for Palworld to be taken down, etc., etc., yes, that does exist. Yes, that is a very small vocal minority, at least what I perceive to be a vocal minority. Guys, if this was the overwhelming majority of Pokemon fans, I really don't believe this game would have north of 2 million concurrent players right now. I don't think the majority of people that enjoyed Pokemon or have a fandom towards Pokemon are anywhere near the crazies that are calling for death threats, that are saying, take Palworld down, we can't let this game exist. Like, that is a very, very small amount. And yes, it's very easy to hone in on that vocal minority and meme on them until the end of time. But that's all we're doing. It's a vocal minority, and yes, they are very loud, and yes, they say so many outlandish things, because if you don't say outlandish things, how is that vocal minority really gonna get, you know, the word out there? Social media has just made it so comfortable with people doing insane things, and death threats, the amount of people that are sending death threats is such a small percentage of what I would think is the entire Pokemon community. Like, let's be real, even the hardest of hardcore fans are not gonna do crazy things like send out death threats. That's insane, and that's happened in other fandoms as well. I remember when, like, God of War Ragnarok was delayed and developers got death threats. Like, you can't take what such a minuscule percentage of the fandom does and then try to paint the entire fandom in a negative light. I get it that people have their opinions on the hardest of hardcore Pokemon fans, but guys, they're normal people. I would really like to think that most people are not doing crazy things like this, and for the people that are, yes, it's absolutely insane, it's absolutely wrong. Nobody is going to defend that, and the worst thing about all of it, if you are one of those hardcore Pokemon fans, which hopefully none of them are watching this video, or if you are, the thing is, Palworld being this big of a success is a net positive for everybody. Even if Nintendo does not give one single F about this game, if they're gonna run business as usual and do Pokemon as it does, because guess what? Palworld's a totally different game than Pokemon. Yes, it's got these mons and these characters and these creatures that, you know, some of them do look resemblant to Pokemon, but from a gameplay loop standpoint, Palworld is totally different. But if Nintendo looks at this and they're like, whatever, leave Palworld in their lane, we're gonna continue doing our thing, we have no care in the world for it, we'll even let Palworld come to the Nintendo Switch 2 at some point, which I believe that is a very likely possibility. if that's the case, well then guess what? Palworld is just another game on the market for people to enjoy. What's wrong with that? Pokemon, it's not like Pokemon's going anywhere for the hardcore Pokemon fans. Pokemon is gonna be here until the day I take my last breath. You guys do not have to worry about that at all. For the crazies that think Palworld is some sort of threat to Pokemon, like, yo, you are so insane at that point. And I know I'm preaching to the choir because I like to think the audience that are watching my videos, they can utilize one brain cell and realize Palworld is no threat to anything. It's not a threat to Pokemon whatsoever. And best case scenario would be Nintendo, Game Freak, whoever's involved with Pokemon, they look at Palworld and they're like, man, that game's a huge success. And obviously, the fact that these creatures are in the game, the Mons are in the game, the pals that they call it, that's a big drawing card, and maybe it's a wake-up call to them that, hey, maybe people want something a little bit more varied with Pokemon. I'm not saying Pokemon needs to copy Palworld. I don't think anybody wants that, but just doing something different or improving Pokemon as a whole. That's best case scenario, and that would be a gigantic, a colossal W for everybody involved. Right now, it's already a W for everyone involved because guess what? We have a new popular game that people are enjoying across the board in the gaming world. There's nothing bad about that. Pokemon's gonna continue to exist. Nonetheless, you guys already get where I'm going with this. I get a lot of people are giving pushbacks. Oh, the Mon design is so similar. Like, even with that, guys, it's got so much differences to Pokemon. People are enjoying it all the same. Just let people enjoy. That's all I say. It's gonna be a W for everyone involved. And the IGN article also had some other quotes. Currently, we are receiving slanderous comments against our artists, and we are seeing tweets that appear to be death threats. I've received a variety of opinions regarding Palworld, but all productions related to Palworld are supervised by multiple people, including myself, and I am responsible for the production. Like, yo, as far as the rage goes, and again, I said it before, it's a small minority. I know it's a easy way to dunk on the Pokemon fandom, and I'm not trying to do that. I think a lot of people are taking this as an easy opportunity to dunk on the Pokemon fandom, and one comment that I saw that I wholeheartedly agree with, it's like, if only you would show this kind of energy and passion towards Game Freak and what they've been doing with Pokemon if you really wanted to crap on Palworld. That should be point blank, period, end of discussion. But nonetheless, obviously at any point when you're getting to the territory of death threats, yeah, you can just go F off with that, but a small minority. At least I would like to think it's a small minority, and I would also like to think that the majority of the Pokemon fandom are sane, sensible people. Now, moving on from that, speaking of Pokemon, there was a modder who put a Pokemon mod and working on a Pokemon mod into Palworld, and Nintendo has come with the hammer on that. This is coming from Toasted, who is working on the mod. Palworld already has a Pokemon mod. There's going to be a video on YouTube, and yeah, Nintendo did come after that. I get it when you're utilizing their characters, and that's going to be a big thing. Like, yo, you got Ash Ketchum in the Palworld world. Now you're putting in, like, Pokemon 1-to-1. Like, yes, it's cool, but at that point, Nintendo, I could definitely be like, okay, they could get a little bit irked out by that. You see how Capcom has reacted to the modding community with the thing that happened with Street Fighter, and now they're enabling Enigma DRM with a lot of their PC titles. Like, yo, Nintendo is gonna come with a ban hammer on that, and, you know, I'm not gonna hate on that whatsoever. Like, it is what it is, and Nintendo is gonna be protective of their IPs and them being utilized by that. And given the microscope that's on this game, not even a microscope, like, really, everybody knows about it. Given the attention that this game is drawing, I can understand why they wouldn't want their characters involved in that kind of things, especially when Palworld's got, you know, guns and things of that nature. Nonetheless, there you go with that. And I do want to end this video on a very positive note. Palworld continues to see immense success. It has currently cracked 7 million copies sold just on Steam. Remember, this game is available on Xbox Game Preview as well as Xbox Game Pass. 7 million copies sold. All-time concurrent player count has peaked at over 2 million players. It is the #2 most played game ever on Steam behind PUBG, which, you know, PUBG peaked at 3.2 million players. That's gonna be a very, very colossal feat to reach when we talk about Palworld. But really, I put nothing off the table at this point. I remember when I woke up Friday morning and I saw Palworld's concurrent player base. I think it was at like 500,000 or 600,000 players at that point, and I was like, whoa, home run for this game, and then it got to 800,000, and I was like, oh man, this game's crushing it, no way it'll crack 1 million, then it cracks 1 million, then it cracks 1.5, now it's at over 2. Man, I don't think 3 million is that out of the realm of possibility when we get to this weekend. Now, how much are people going to be invested into this game? Is there going to be a tipping point where people do all the content and then ultimately people are going to wait on updates and things of that nature? Yeah, maybe that'll happen, but right now the game is crushing it, and we talked about it yesterday. Guys, I wouldn't worry too much about a PlayStation version. It'll eventually happen. When a game is this successful, you want to get this game on every platform possible. You know that every platform holder is gonna want a piece of the pie, and they're gonna want the game on their platform. I'm sure Sony is already moving heaven and earth and doing what they can to get this game on PlayStation 5. It's obviously still in early access. Pocket Pair has a plate full of things to do. Like, they are probably overwhelmed right now. They're probably answering a lot of emails, answering a lot of requests from players, the community, who already spent their money and are enjoying it in early access. There are priorities that Pocket Pair have, but obviously, getting a PlayStation 5 release done, that'll at some point happen. I don't know if it's gonna happen by, let's say, the summertime, but probably by the end of the year. But at the end of the day, it is a game still in early access. It's gonna be in early access for another year plus, and maybe they'll wait until the game is completely out of early access. I saw the notion in my comment section that, hey, Sony and PlayStation doesn't do early access games. Guys, Disney Dreamlight Valley just happened. Like, it literally just happened, and that game was in a early access form, and they sold it. If they want the game on their platform, they can get the game on their platform. I don't think Microsoft has any sort of exclusivity with Game Pass. I think they just paid for it to be on Game Pass, etc., etc. But, yeah. Palworld is doing exceedingly well. The drama's gonna be there, and yeah, I'll poke fun at it every now and again if it gets outrageous. And let's be real, whenever you get to death threat territory, it is outrageous. But again, this isn't something that's exclusive to the Pokemon fandom. I think people are gonna see that and be like, oh my god, the Pokemon fandom is absolutely crazy. Look at any other fandom in the world today. You think death threats don't exist in, like, sporting fandom, in, like, Star Wars fandom? You're kidding yourself. They absolutely do exist. It's just, you have to have the rationale to think, hey, it's a very, very small minority of the community and the fandom that is doing an absolutely abhorrent thing. Let's not get it twisted. It's absolutely abhorrent, but it doesn't speak for the majority. At least I like to think, bro. I like to think it doesn't speak for the majority, but that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. I know a lot of you guys, again, while we are PlayStation focused on this channel, most of you guys are playing it on PC, you got an Xbox, whatever the deal is, and you're enjoying it greatly. But again, your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.